Mgeni wetu siku ya leo, the Deputy President of the ANC and Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa, distinguished guests, and Wameru Mogeni Kaire, hamjambo. Leo hii tukiwa hapa Kenoru Stadium ni siku ya kitaifa. Tukiwa tumeungana pamoja hapa kusherehekea madaraka yetu kama Wakenya. Kwa hivyo nawaomba wenzangu mniruhusu nisome yale ambaye niko naye hapa, ndio tuungane pamoja na Wakenya wengine pahali popote walipo na pia marafiki wetu kutoka nchi zingine. It is with great pleasure to join the people of Meru County today for the celebration and commemoration of Madaraka Day. Indeed, from this county, we owe a great debt to the sons and daughters of this county, from General Mwariama, whose widow, Mama Jacinta, joins us today, to Generals Nkoge, Aimunga Roko, and Roko, and all the other heroes who fought for Kenya to be free. The tree of liberty was, as our founding president said, watered by their blood, and it is a debt that we can neither repay nor ever forget. The heroes and heroines, the founders and fathers of this nation were wise. They knew that if we did not regularly remind ourselves of what freedom had cost, we would be lax in defending it. So we gather here today to remember the heroes of the past, to celebrate the liberty they left us, and to preserve and protect, as well as propagate, that precious inheritance. Long before the struggle of our independence from colonial rule, we were independent peoples with a long and distinguished history. The migrations that carried the many languages and nations to today's Kenya arose from lands that had grown sophisticated civilizations. A key part of the Pan-Africanist philosophy that Kenya's founding fathers adhered to was that Africa had been the land of great civilizations that lost their way as they came under the external assault of slavery and later colonization. Madaraka, therefore, was an opportunity for a reclamation of our histories as free peoples, and to take that freedom and forge it into a political and economic order that would allow us to build a united and successful nation as part of a united and federated Africa. Our founding fathers knew that they would need the vehicle of a modern state to negotiate the sophisticated international sphere if we were to protect our freedom and independence and use it to build a vibrant country. And that is why on the morning of the first Madaraka Day, our people were elated to see their brothers, African brothers and sisters in authority. Some here can still recall that first Madaraka Day, the joy and hope that was felt by millions, the horizons that appeared limitless. There was nothing that any people or country in the world could achieve that we could not. Indeed, thanks to the efforts of our administration since independence, and most importantly of the Kenyan people, in part to programs that make medical equipment available to parts of the country that were once underserved. Thanks in part to this administration's free maternal care program, far fewer of our children die at birth or in their first 5 years of life, and we have cut child mortality to a quarter of what it was in 1963. Recent programs also make education free for virtually every child in the Republic, and 9 million children have the benefit of a free primary education, an opportunity open to fewer than 1 million at independence. Once it took Africans 12+ hours on a third-class carriage to get to Mombasa from Nairobi, now we can do it in 4 hours. And indeed, once the standard gauge railway reaches Kisumu, we will travel across Kenya in a single day. We owe all of this to the hard work of Kenyans, work which shows in the simple fact that our income per capita is 13 times what it was at independence. The people of Meru County have always been strong contributors to national progress. This was once a battleground in the war for independence, where blood was shed and intense acts of bravery were performed for our collective benefit. That same spirit of pioneering ambition has allowed this county to be one of the most successful in commerce. And indeed, your sons and daughters who are here with us today serve Kenya at the highest levels of government. They add their efforts to those of Kenyans from across the country who are joined in their diversity by the great cause of building a dignified and prosperous Kenya. Thanks to the efforts that brought Madaraka and later independence, and that we protected as a people, every Kenyan today has the right to be represented in government. You have the right to be treated in a manner befitting your dignity, with the utmost done to provide access to effective education, good medical care, and for your person and property to be protected. Through devolution, your voice is heard more clearly in the governance decisions that affect you and your neighbors. As we celebrate the good that has been achieved over the decades since independence, we know there are areas where we have not done as well. We must be truthful to ourselves and admit that in the past few decades, a few of us have failed their motherland. Some of those trusted to run and manage institutions, resources, and safeguard the public interests have turned to be predators. Through their selfishness, greed, and misuse of authority, Kenyans have been denied critical public services and development. Today, I want to address myself to these enemies who must be boldly confronted by all Kenyans of goodwill, in the same manner our forefathers resolved to join hands in the fight against colonialism. Our forefathers resolved to destroy the yoke of colonialism is what gave birth to our beloved nation. And I have resolved to lead this nation in getting rid of corruption and division, the main challenges we face today, just like colonialism was then. I appeal to all Kenyans to join me in the war that we have started to vanquish corruption. While the challenge may look huge, Because of the way corruption has become entrenched in some of our people, today we have to declare in unison that corruption in all its forms will be diminished from our country. Like colonialism was defeated, so too we shall defeat corruption. We must, with a sense of great urgency, destroy and eliminate corruption in our country before it fully destroys us and the future of our children. This war must be fought and won by all of us, particularly that which comprises public service. Almost the entire senior team in charge of investigations and prosecutions today is new, and they have been properly resourced. They know their mandates and mission, and they know what Kenyans expect. The Director of Public Prosecutions, the police and other institutions in the multi-agency team against corruption are on the move, and they are making decisive steps to build strong cases for the prosecution of corrupt officials. Their work will bear fruit when the judiciary also responds by ensuring the frivolous and obstructive use of the court system to avoid responsibility will no longer be allowed. I welcome the assurance of the judiciary's leadership yesterday that they are with the rest of government and all Kenyans in this war for our integrity as a country. I am glad that the rest of senior officials have been made, and I can tell you that there are more on the way. I want officials, particularly senior ones, who are directly implicated in corruption to have no place in my administration, and for them to go where they belong, which is in jail. I will do my part as president to turn government into an instrument that truly serves you and that respects the sacred responsibility to build Kenya into a truly prosperous, fair, and honest country. You as citizens should take up the fight as a key responsibility of your citizenship. We all know from reading the headlines daily that corruption has also seeped into many other sectors of our society. And we must all seize the moment and play our individual role for our country to overcome this evil. We know of teachers who prey on their pupils, impregnating some of them, preachers who swindle their flock, lawyers who defraud clients, journalists who wanafanya nini? Blackmail